Hey again. Today we're going to talk about controller skins, particularly from 12inch skinz.com. I'll have a link down in the description, as well as any other prudent information, including Adobe's website where you can get your free trial of Photoshop, as well as Illustrator. I think they have a trial on their website, but I know for sure that they have one for Photoshop. So basically, any controller which you have, this one is the Traktor's S4 Mark III, which is a fairly new controller. This is the one that I use. I upgraded from an S2. This is an amazing controller, and why not make it look even better and have it stand out with an awesome skin on it. There are some that you can design for yourself, and you could also download that's pre-made, that just has a standard color, maybe a couple of designs. Again, all can be downloaded directly from the 12inch skinz website. And once you've selected your skin, then you just pay. It's really simple, straightforward. I discovered them through some fellow DJs at the club who have done theirs, and it just looks phenomenal. It's not a vinyl, it's not made of vinyl, it's this hard decal. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's rather thick, and it goes on, and it helps maintain dust, because I know that on my controller there's some shiny spots where there's smudges or fingerprints or anything like that, and it just overall makes your deck look great in comparison to the stock. They also have designs that go over your jog wheels. Now, I've heard conflicting stories that it will mess with the sensitivity of the jog wheels, but I have yet to experience that myself. Once I do get mine, I will try it out and I will make sure to pass it on to you. This video is primarily for customizing. You can download the template directly from 12inchskinz.com. They will have one for just about any controller that's out there. Again, this is the S4 Mark III. I have downloaded the template for that, and what I will do is go through each step through using Photoshop, and you really don't have to be an expert to do this. And once you see through the steps that I'll walk you through, and I'll make sure to do a pretty thorough tutorial on this. For some of those who are really good at Photoshop, be a little bit patient. This is mostly geared towards a wider spectrum of people that want to make a custom skin for their deck rather than just download one that's already available on their website. Once this video is done, I will send off my file to 12inchskinz.com, and they're really good. Their staff there is really helpful to you. They will let you know if that graphic's not going to work. I will assist you with determining which images are good. High resolution, larger pictures are really better because you'll be able to shrink them down. If you take small images and you try to make them big, you'll create jagged edges, and the pixelization won't be so great. The only other thing is the steps. I'm going to download my template, and from here we're going to go to, you're going to see a screen where I'm going to be editing, going through each steps. If there's anything that I don't cover, again, please make sure to drop a line in the comments, as well as subscribing. I don't have a whole lot of videos. This is my intro to doing instructional videos. I also do, hence the Eastwood fabrication, Eastwood Fab. I do a lot of costuming and props, and I actually do some of the knobs customized. When I say customized, meaning on mine I go by DJ Bloodline, so there's a B on my caps. So I could do the same for any other people, and I print with using a resin printer versus a filament printer. They just come out a lot nicer. Anyway, enough of that. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the tutorial in Photoshop. All right, welcome to the heart of the video, where I will show you how to customize your template for your S4. Now here you will see that I am on the 12-inch skinz website. Now if you notice on the left side they have a lot more to offer besides just adding a skin for your controller. They have a plethora of things here, and I invite you to take a look at the various things that they have, because they might just have something that you didn't realize that you needed. Kind of a one-stop shop approach. They have some knobs here as well, which is really cool. But right now, again, we're going to focus on customizing our S4. And for that, we're going to go to the Native Instruments Skins section. So you just go ahead and you click that. And you will see all of Native Instruments items that they have available for skinning. Now, I'm sure if you put in a request for something that you don't see here, just give them a shout via email and let them know that that you don't see your item here, and that probably will work with you. So just go up here and click on Contact Us and just let them know, because you never know. Here you see the S4 Mark III, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and immediately you are taken to different options other than just the custom template. Without further ado, click right here to open up to view the custom template. Now this is what it looks like bare. It's just unedited. Now what you want to do is you want to scroll down, because it's very hard to miss unless you do that. And you want to click on the Photoshop template. And you want to just save it. And as you can see here, it's a PSD file. So this is a tutorial that will go over how to edit in Photoshop. From what I understand, they also offer other platforms, but this tutorial is going to go over Photoshop. Now if you don't have Photoshop, you can go over to adobe.com and just grab a free tutorial, and that'll help you go through customizing your template. Something else I wanted to point out is that this tutorial is not really to teach you how to design. It's more how to take the pre-existing images that you have and adding them to this. There are a lot of other tutorials on YouTube and Google where you can learn how to alter the images. Speaking of images, any images that you do see here, I have not created from scratch. I downloaded them from starting at Google and then various other websites, and then alter them to my preference. The one I'm going to go over here in Photoshop is just going to be, like I said, a straightforward. And I'll show you what I did with mine towards the end here. So speaking of, I have this image here of the S4. And the S4 consists of 3 panels. So you got your left deck here, you got your mixer in the center here, and then you got your right deck. Now this is how the pieces are going to come in the skin. It's on the top, for the top. It's going to be in 3 different pieces. So if that helps you with the selection process of what you want to put on your skin, I'm going to give you that heads up. I wasn't aware of it until I got it. I mean, I was so excited that I just went ahead and just started designing it, but keep that in mind. Also, with the front and the back, you will get 2 pieces. On the sides here, there'll be just 1. So there'll be 1 on the side here, 1 on this side, 2 in the front, and 2 in the back. So a total of 2, 4, 7, 8, 9 pieces, I believe. And again, when you're picking your images, I would highly suggest the following. If you go into Google and you click on, I'll just start from scratch here. high definition abstract images. And then just click on images. I like using abstract. Abstract images will give you a lot of different abstract images. It'll help get you started. If you click on one here, this is a one that you have to pay, but you click on another one and you just end up going into this black hole of various images. That looks rather cool, but something to keep in mind here. You notice when I'm hovering my mouse, it displays the resolution. You want to grab the highest resolution possible when you're grabbing these images. Now, most of the images are going to be in 72 dpi. That stands for dots per inch. So that's the resolution. The template for the one that you downloaded, and the way to find out the DPI, the resolution on any image, is to click on image size, and here you will see 300. And that's what the template is in. Most of the images that you download online are going to be in 72. Excuse me. So for example, this one here, I'm going to go to image and image size and see it's in 72. And we'll go over how to alter that in just a moment. So with that being said, high definition background images, you'll have a tendency to get a lot of higher quality images because they're mostly designed for background images on your desktop. One of the places that I favor is Wallpaper Flare. Wallpaper Flare is really unique in the sense that when you go through an image, you can do many searches. Obviously, I did a search here for synthwave. You click on the image that you find. Simply click on choose resolution, and you're going to have all of these options. Now, some of them aren't always going to be made for a larger size, but I'm going to click on this larger one, and depending on your connection and your computer, you can see that it's extremely large. It's a higher quality. There's a little bit of breakup here, and that's the thing. When you download something that's in a lower resolution, you're going to get some pixelization and some graininess. So ensure that you're getting the highest resolution possible when you're downloading your images. One thing that you could use are vector images. If you know anything about vector images, just do a little bit of Googling on that. You can expand those as big as you want, and it's not going to degrade the image much. But again, this is a really cool website. I highly recommend going to Wallpaper Flare. They will have a ton of stuff available. So back to Photoshop here. I'm just going to go into the directions now. And the directions, to see them better, here's another tip in Photoshop. If you're using a Mac, you hold Command. If you're using Windows, you hold Control, and then you hit the plus button or the minus button. And this will zoom in and out. Now, if you want to have it fit to your workspace, you hold the Control or the Command for Mac and click or press 0. And it'll just take advantage of all of the space that you're using. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Step number 1, use a CMYK color palette. This is extremely important because a lot of the images that you download are going to be in RGB. Again, I'm going to show you an example here. To find that, you go to Image, Mode. This one's in CMYK color. This one is an RGB color. Now what I can do to convert it you simply click CMYK. You're going to get a little warning here in Photoshop, and you click OK. Now, in some images, depending, you might notice a little bit of fading in color, but that's okay. You don't necessarily have to change it to CMYK to port it over, because in the end, this is going to be saved as a CMYK, as it already is. On that topic, before you get started with anything, I'd like to draw your attention to this section of Photoshop here. This, right here, I'm going to point to it. That little drop-down menu is what I want you to focus on. Go ahead and select it, and yours is probably going to say the same as selected as mine is. You want to come down here and click CMYK sliders. And this is going to look just like in the directions here. Now what you want to do is you want to, just to make it easy, just take the top three and slide them to the left. And then make sure the bottom one is slid all the way to the right. Now this will give you black. I mean, it's black is in CMYK. The third step here is when you have to use text, use a text stroke layer, which should be used when you have any kind of busy graphics, like if you've got a lot going on in your images. Personally, I avoided this step for mine, which I will show you. My images already had text in them, and I made sure to save my images in a high quality, high resolution, so that way the text don't degrade, and I didn't have to worry about it at all. Step 3, you're going to save, when you're all done, you're going to save this as a JPEG, and then once you do that, you're going to get an option just which quality to save it in. And you can do it anywhere between 8 and 10. I just went ahead and saved it as a 12 because that was max. The DPI, I think we already went over that. So you go to image, image size, and there's the DPI. Now, when you submit when you're all done, you're going to hide the following: instructions, guide, holes layer. So those are all over here on the right hand side. So the way that you hide them, right now there's an eye next to each one of these layers. To unhide it, you just select it. Same goes with guides and the other options here. So with that being said, I'm pretty much done with the instructions. So I'm going to hide the instructions. Now up here you will see this is part of the guides layer. It reads, don't put any text or fill or any background stuff past these dashed lines. Now I'm going to say don't put any text up past this edge, but I have received my skin and my image went up to the edge here, and I'll show you once we're starting to design that. And so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Just try to avoid putting any text towards the edge, because this is where it's just really tricky. And again, I'll have to show you my result, my end result when I'm done. So you can hide those. The next layer is the holes layer, and as you can see here, this will hide the holes. These are all of the holes that come in the template. Anything that is green is going to be a hole. So that way when you put your skin on, this is what's going to be missing on your skin. And it'll help you give you an idea of what your skin's going to look like when you get it. You've got text, you've got text stroll, text capsule, and these other capsules, and your mask. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get started on this project. So I'm going to grab my marquee tool if it's not already selected. I'm going to select a new layer here. So it says layer. And I like to name my layers so that way I know what's going on. Alright, it helps me identify what layer is what, just like these other ones here. Just good practice in Photoshop. And I'm going to use my left mouse button. I'm going to drag over the whole image until I can't anymore. And then I'm going to let go. And you're going to see that it's selected. The whole thing is selected. And you can tell that because of the moving border here. Now right down here, it doesn't matter where really. You can go to Edit and Fill. Or you can go to right click and fill. It doesn't matter. Now yours might say foreground color or something else, but I'm going to select black and hit OK. And now we have everything in black. Now this is good because when it comes to putting your graphics on top, it makes it easier for you to see. If you just wanted to do your own color, you could do that. You could do purple, you can do red, you can do whatever you want, and then just add your own graphics that best match that. But you'll see why I choose black here in just a moment. Now you'll notice that it's still selected. I'm going to go ahead and deselect it by hitting Control D, or if you're using a Mac, you use Command D. Control Z or Command Z will undo. Another way to deselect is to just select inside here. And you can see up here in your history that I perform the same function. Now, you do have the option, I'm going to let you know that you do have the option of putting graphics on your, or a skin on your jog wheels. Now, I have used mine since I got it. The only difference that I've noticed is that when you have a song playing and you're not in turntable mode, you're in jog mode, which is this down here. If you touch the platter, the song's still going to be playing. You have to, if you want to stop the song by using the jog wheel, or pause it I should say, you're going to have to press down a little hard. It's like a firm press and the song will stop. So just keep that in mind also when you're designing. If you don't want to have the skin on your jog wheels, that's the only thing that I've noticed, the only sacrifice that you make. So if you're using your jog wheels a lot and you really rely on that the touch sensitivity of them, then you may want to reconsider putting the skin for your jog wheels. So with that being said, I'm going to remove some of the graphics here. So to help you identify what layer you're working on, just hit the eye, or this eye right here. And you want to make sure that you're selecting the layer that you want to work on. So for example, these sides here, I don't want here because I want to take advantage of the real estate for the images that I want on the side here. So I have the marquee selected. I'm going to go ahead and select that logo, and I'm just going to hit the delete key. Now you can also see that you can still see it. Now you'll have to, there we go. So I'm going to go over here to the text layer, and I'm going to perform the same operation. So now that's all done. I'm just going to drag this over here. I'm on the text layer here. Hit the delete key. Select the text scroll layer. Hit the delete key. And I'm good with that. I'm going to leave the Traktor here on the front because, I don't know, I'm a proud Traktor user, and I don't mind leaving it there. Some people want to remove it. You can remove this one too if you want. Speaking of this area here, it's got a lot of holes in it. Remember, all of those green represent holes. So I would not recommend putting a very detailed design. I would just suggest doing something a gradient, like starting from black and then fading into red or whatever color, or even a pattern. So not too much here. So going to what I was thinking about doing. Let me just do this really quick because I want to delete that. Actually, I'm going to delete this later because this is going to help me with centering this graphic here. So I wanted to put this on the right deck. You can do the same thing as I did before. Right, left click and then drag your marquee tool to select it all, and then just hit Command or Control C. Click back over here to your template and simply hit Control V. Now see what happened here was I was selected on, I'm going to hit Control Z here. You see I'm selected on this level here. So I'm going to just select this black layer and I'm going to do it again. So my text or my graphics are going to be above the fill. Now I'm going to want to move this, but I have this marquee tool selected. Now one way you can do it is select the move tool and you can move it around. Or if you don't want to select the move tool, hold down your Command for Mac or Control for PC and the icon will change and you can move that. Now since this image is hard to see, I'm going to click on the eye in this fill layer so that I can see what I'm doing. I still have this layer selected. I'm going to go up here to Edit, Transform, Scale. I'm going to go up here. Now I'm going to grab the corner. Now be sure that if you just grab the corner and you start moving it around, you're going to mess with the aspect ratio. You're going to distort it. Control Z. Grab the corner, hold down the Shift key, and it'll maintain what it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to go a little bit further than I need to. Slide this up here like this because I want that to be right there in the center. Now see the bottom here? I want to make sure that I'm beyond that. Now I want to center that. That's why I left this logo here. A little second tip for you. Use in this mode, you can use your mouse, or not your mouse, your arrow keys to move stuff around. I think that's pretty darn close. And up here, click OK. Now you notice I've got some things bleeding over. That's not truly what I want. If you do want that, you can. Totally up to you. But I'm going to show you how to remove the leftovers. On this right side, I'm going to leave it because it's going to fold over. I did this on my other design for my controller, and it worked out really great because it continues on with the image. So over here, I want to delete that. So I've got my marquee tool still selected. Now with this, oh, that was weird. Let's see. Okay, so it still let me do it. Photoshop does have a few glitches, and that is one. One of the things you can do when you've got the marquee tool is that you can move it with your mouse. So if you want to get that fine line, Control D to move that out. Now I don't want it here either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that, hit the delete key, and I've got a little bit going on here. Delete. Control D to deselect. So that's looking pretty cool. So for the next image, let's see here. What do we got? I kind of like this a lot, but I need to edit it. So I'm just going to cut out what I want. You can do that with crop. This is the crop tool here. And you just kind of move it around. And then you hit your OK button. Grab the marquee. Again, I'm just going through the steps here. So I'm going to make a new layer. Actually, it'll do it for me. When I paste this, take a look at this layer. It just makes a new one. So I'm holding on the Control key and I'm just moving this around like this. So what I'm going to do is go here to Edit, Transform, and Rotate. And as I'm rotating, I'm going to hold down the Shift key because I wanted to do it in increments. And then click OK. Now I'm going to want to do another Edit, Transform. Let's just do Scale. So I'm just going, rather than holding down the Shift key, it's not going to really matter much, but I'm going to put that there. And so on the side of my deck, the other side is going to have this digital flame, as it were. The S4 is a little different because you've got this here, which is like a handle on each side, so you might want to keep that in mind also. I'm going to make a new layer intentionally now, and you can do that by clicking down here. And right on this section here, this is where I'm going to use that gradient tool. You can go all the way up to the top, I guess. Anyway, so that's an option for you there. Any other images that you want to do for the bottom here, you can do that. I'm going to grab another image that I have saved. This is just a button that I downloaded. I think it's kind of cool. So what I'd like to do is image size. I'm going to try something. This is my first time trying it. I didn't even do it online. So I'm going to change this to 300 DPI. But before I do that, I'm going to go over here and just crop it a bit. Image size 300. Now, depending on your computer, it might take a minute. So there we go. Let's see if I do a little bit more. Cropping here. Hit OK. You know what? I'm going to try something different. I'm going to hit Control and then A, or you can do Command, and it automatically selects everything. And then hit Control C or Command C if you're on a Mac. I'm going to click over here and hit Control V. Now, since I can't see it very well, oh, that's good enough. So I'm going to go over here, Edit, Transform, Scale. Hold down the Shift key. I'm going to move it until I like it. So that's one way that I could probably make this, let's see. Because I was worried about the outside. Just use your mouse, just center it. And click OK. Now you can see that the image still kind of bleeds around here, so what I could do is I could just, since I have the eraser tool selected, I can just erase what's around here. Now, to really make that pop out, I'm going to select Text Stroll again. And I'm going to select the marquee tool, delete, and then so select on text. It's just a trial and error. Delete, and then what was that, text scroll? Yep. So now when you look at your deck, you're going to have this really cool button here. This is going to be turning around. It kind of looks rather cool. I was just kind of winging this, but you kind of get the idea. If you wanted to, you could put something in the center of your mixer here, which is going to be this section right here. Or you could leave it. It's totally up to you. There's so many different options. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the holes. One of the things that I like to help with is I like to merge all the layers, but you don't really have to. There's the fill layer that I forgot to put the eye back on. So anyway, there is that. That's a decent looking, it's very vanilla, but it's a starter. So the instructions that I want to go back is I want to tell you that you want to save it as a JPEG and leave it as a 300 DPI. So I want to make sure that's unchecked. This is pretty much ready to go. File, save as, and then you put your controller and then your name. That's pretty much it. And then down here you're going to go to JPEG, the first one. DJ bloodline test. Save. And then it's going to give you that option that's in the directions. I'm just going to leave it at 12 because I want it at its highest quality. And just click OK. And that's what you're going to email them on their website. First, you'll go here and go to Browse, and then you'll select the JPEG. Quantity 1, add to cart. It's really simple. And then you upload it. And if they have any issues with your graphic, they'll let you know. They won't print it unless it's quality, because the worst thing that they want to do is go and have you do it all over again, and we're wasting each other's time. We want to make sure that you're doing a quality product, and that they do. So this one is mine, or this one is just a test one. What I'm going to show you how I did mine, for example. This is a JPEG version of mine. And once I got this back, I went ahead and I put it up, and this is what it looked like before I added it on, and it came out amazing. I've gotten compliments on it. I'm pretty stoked with it. It represents me, like I've mentioned before, and I think that's important. Make sure it represents you. If you have any other questions on this tutorial, please put them in the comments. I'll be happy to assist you. I didn't mean to make this super long. I'm trying to make it as brief as possible. But this is something that'll save you a lot of time. It's a little involved. Be sure to save your PSD. Just click Save. And you'll be good to go. And you'll have all of these layers. And you can go back and edit it if there was anything wrong with it. So that's it. Please like and subscribe. This is one of my first videos. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was thorough enough. Again, any questions, just slap me a comment in the sections, and or slap me a question in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to assist you. Thanks again for watching, and be safe. Bye-bye.